Hey, what's up, universe? Welcome to episode 23 of It's a Choice. So, today I'm going to be talking about choosing your investments. And I'm not necessarily talking about stocks, bonds, Bitcoin, gold, silver, anything like that. Although, certainly, that could be a facet of this. I'm talking a little bit more general. So, as always, it seems these days when it comes to the podcast, I never necessarily plan anything. I'm not much of a planner, and that might be a story, but I've lived my life off the cuff. I believe I've said that quite a few times. So I'm at the gym today, and two things happen while I'm at the gym, and they inspire this podcast. One is that I got an email from from a recruiter that spoke with. I had an interview on Friday, and it went well. And she's like, "All right, I'm going to pass along your information to the project manager, and get you set up with a time to speak with them." I was like, "Great." And this was for another IT contract, working on Zendesk and things like that. I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. I don't even know who the client would be. They didn't even tell me. But anyway, the Zendesk is the software I'd be working on. And so I wrote her this morning and I said, "Hey, thanks again for taking the time to talk with me on Friday," all that kind of stuff. I said, I was just wondering when I might hear back from the project manager, because I heard my interview on Friday was early in the morning and I didn't hear anything all day Friday. And I woke up at like noon today because I worked late last night. And anyway, so I was just following up. And so while I was at the gym, the recruiter emailed me back and she's like, "I spoke with the project management team. Your profile was well received." They're like, "But the client has actually put the Zendesk project lead on hold. Although I've been encouraged to keep you in the loop and let you know about anything that changes with our hiring needs." And she said she'd contact me in the next few days with some updates. So that sounds promising in some regards, but I was like, okay. But that didn't hurt my feelings. I wasn't attached to that. I wasn't like bummed out about it or anything like that. It wasn't soul crushing or even a little bit of a knock. I was just kind of like, all right, that's how it goes, And so the second thing that happened while I was at the gym is that a friend of mine named Ricky, and I met Ricky when I was at Life and Wealth Mastery out in Fiji. And that's a whole story too. I don't know, when you guys are listening to this podcast or whatever, but there's a whole intuitive choice about being authentic and following myself, and the whole backstory about how I was even able to go to Fiji. And I just say that probably because, like, at least when I hear it, I'm like, oh, you went to Fiji, you were able to go to Fiji, that kind of a thing. It might inspire certain ideas about I don't know, just about me. But anyway, there's a whole series of events that were able to happen to allow that to even manifest. And it's definitely in alignment with my intuitive decision making, and just kind of like, how the fuck was that able to even happen? Anyway, I met this guy named Ricky when I was out there, and he contacted me. I think I may have mentioned this in my last podcast. He contacted me maybe 2 weeks ago, and he's got an event going on in Colorado. And I sent him a text because I didn't take the call, and I was like, "Hey man, I'm at the gym. I'll call you back when I get home." And he's like, "Cool." And what that got me thinking about is that Ricky made me an offer. Like when he contacted me first, when we were speaking about his program, he's like, "Look, I'm part owner in this company," and he's like, "That's doing this program," and he's like, "I can do what I want as far as like the financing part goes." And so he made me an offer, and I was like, "Yeah, we'll work it out." You know what I mean? Today at the gym, while I was thinking about it, and just to take you back, this is during the time when Ricky called me. I had just threw down some cash on the itsachoice.com domain, which, as you may recall from previous episodes, didn't turn out. And I got a refund, right? I got my money back. So anyway, today while I'm at the gym, I was thinking about, Ricky and the offer that he made and how I felt about it, and things like that. And it got me thinking. This is where I'm getting into the investment part, right? It got me thinking, like, why would I take Ricky's offer, right? Like, I now have the funds to me right now to just pay full boat. Like, why would I do that? Like, why would I not even necessarily finance it, but why would I take a payment plan? And I get time value of money. I took business finance classes. Even though I have this kind of up and down relationship with money and finances, I actually understand it really well. It's something I've done a lot of research into is money. But anyway, it got me thinking about why would I break it down? Why wouldn't I just go ahead and give him like the full boat for his program, And I was like, I'm gonna fucking tell him to go ahead and run the card and just take the full boat and pay for the program outright and just call it good. Because what it got me thinking about is my relationship with money and how it's just energy, right? Money is just energy. And why would I even call it my money? It's not my money, It's not my money. It's not my energy. That's the energy from the universe that happened to flow to me, that I happen to attract to me, that I happen to be a conduit for. I'm just a conduit. I'm just a nexus point. I'm a hub of connections. Energy flows into me, and I get to choose where I invest it. And I'm choosing my words deliberately here. Some people could say spend it, but I'm going to say fuck that. Where I choose to invest my energy, and not even and I don't want to use money either. Where I choose to invest my energy. And, that gets into like this whole nuance of like money versus currency. And there's a reason it's called currency, because you can think of it as an electric current. There's a loop, there's an energetic exchange between the things that you interact with. And so even money is a misnomer. It's really currency. That's why they call it a currency exchange. And what's the exchange rate? What's the currency exchange rate? It's not the money exchange rate, it's currency. And there's a difference between currency and money. We use them interchangeably, we use them synonymously, but when we get down to semantics and like the actual definitions, it's actually important. Currency. Anyhow, it got me thinking about that. And what it really got me thinking about is the whole scarcity, the idea of scarcity mindset and things like that, where it didn't really even make sense for me to worry or question or wonder where the fuck money was going to come from, or where the energy was going to come from. Where was the current going to come from? Fuck that. Like, I'm attracting that to me. What I need to worry about is like my throughput. How big of a conduit am I? What am I giving back? What life am I engendering? Like things beget like things, which is why I'm choosing to change the language from spending to investment, or from spending or buying, or expenses to expansion, as I mentioned in my previous podcast. So like, take for example, over the last week, right? I've realigned myself more for my health, and gotten back more on the diet that my personal trainer had. When I came back from Fiji, I've gotten some supplements. I've also purchased some other things. And just because I'm getting more, I'm investing back into that, because I'm investing into myself. I'm investing into my health, and I'm I'm giving back to myself that way. And then, I was just thinking, like with this example with Ricky, is I was like, I'm totally down with like expanding him and his business, and supporting that, and giving my energy and investing I say my life, but like investing my energy into that, because I'm investing in an experience, right? Like when I go out to this event for 6 days, that's an experience. What else is life really about except for experiences, right? Sure, there's material things and whatever, but you can't take that shit. You can't even necessarily take your experiences with you when you fucking die. But like, what is worth more? In my mind, and where I'm coming from, is it's the experience. So I'm totally willing to invest and take what energy flowed to me, and reinvest that into Ricky, and reinvest that into the companies where I bought the supplements from. And it even got me thinking about my Lexus and things like that. Some people might be like, that's a pretty big expense that you have every month. And I've never actually looked at it that way. To tell you the truth, I've had my Lexus for like 9 months now. And I've always chosen to look at it as like an investment, as, it's definitely something that I take pleasure in driving the car. Every time I get in it and drive it, it makes me feel good. And then every time I write the check, actually I don't write the check, I just pay it online. But whenever I invest that money into Lexus, I think about the mechanics. I think about like the facilities, the infrastructure. I think about the people who work for Lexus. I think about the line workers, like whatever, the people that manufacture the car, all of that stuff. Like I am contributing to that. I am investing in them. Like I choose to interpret it that way rather than looking at it and being like, oh, that's a big fucking bill I got to fucking write out every month. Like, and then not even worrying about how that energy is going to come to me. It's like when this recruiter was like, hey, that kind of fell through, at least for the moment. I wasn't like, oh, fuck. And I didn't jump into scarcity mindset and be like, where the fuck is my money going to come from? Because too many times over the last year have I been a party to, a benefactor of, and has the universe shown up and shown me and cradled me and been like, here's the energy, the currency for you, and here's what you need, and here's what there you go. Like it has just shown up for me. So as I'm thinking about this at the gym, I just started thinking about my relationship to that, and just thinking about what I attract into my life that way, and how much throughput am I allowing myself to receive and then pass through me. I don't even like to call it, as I was thinking today, I was like, I need to just change the wording. It's like not my money. Like I don't want to become attached to the currency. I don't want to be attached to the energy. I'm attracting that energy into me. I'm fortunate enough to be the hub of that energy, that nexus point for that energy. And then I get to choose where that energy goes, and like what life am I supporting? That's the way I've chosen to start looking at it, is like, as that energy flows to me, then I get to choose what things get life from me. Where do I get to disperse that energy and bloom other things into life? That's fascinating to me. And I'm like, that to me, like, it just destroys scarcity mindset. Like there's absolutely no way I'm going to allow myself to freak out about it anymore, because it's always going to flow to me. It's always going to flow to all of us, right? The energy around us is infinite. The universe is infinite. And this led me to think too about Mary Lou, right? I mentioned her before, I believe. She's a friend of mine, does hypnosis. And in a Facebook group, a Dream Big Facebook group that we're in, she posted a question, because she's working on a hypnosis about dreaming big. And she's like, what characteristics do you need for you to dream big? And I was like, not limiting the unlimited, and realizing that I am the one that's likely creating all of the limitations. Actually, not even likely, that I'm the one that creates all the limitations within my life. So just allowing myself to like break down those barriers of looking at it in such a finite way, and allowing myself to be, fearful or attached to the flow, and like, where's it going to come from, and just kind of like abolishing that and changing and choosing to change my relationship to it is something that really held my attention for a long time while I was at the gym today. And I wanted to just speak to it, because I think a lot of us are taught certain things about money, as money comes from work, and money might be hard to come by, or like, how are you going to pay for that, or where you're going to get the money for that, that kind of a thing. Like, we ask ourselves these questions. You can change the context. You can think of things where you never ask yourself that question, but you change the context and you'd be like, hell yeah, I would ask myself that question. Like, you might go to the store and not think twice about buying everything that you'd ever fucking want, but then you go to the car dealership, or you think about going on vacation, or you think about something that you would want to invest in yourself, but you then have some story around it, some interpretation, and then all of a sudden you have this limitation on the unlimited, right? It's all fucking energy. So just let it flow, and don't get attached to it, and let it flow through you, and just know that it's coming to you, so that way you can also bloom other things into life. And I just loved it. And so I'm just, it's just something that has captured my attention, and I just kind of I wanted to share that with you guys. So that's what I have for today. Thank you for listening. Go live an inspired life so you can inspire others to live their authentic and inspired life. Because at the end of the day, living an inspired life is a choice. All right, I love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.